Hey there, my friends. Happy Tuesday. The holidays are around, and at every store you go to, you probably see a lot of those little tins. Ones that kind of look like that. But often they are full of different types of chocolate barks, almond bark, peppermint bark, or even peanut brittle. And they're such a great gift to give because we all know the true way to someone's heart is through the stomach. But did you realize how easy they are to make at home? Well, guess what, my friends? I'm going to show you how because today on Fresh Tip Tuesday, we're making peanut brittle and peppermint bark. Hey there, my friends. It's Corinne, the Fresh Expert. And today for Fresh Tip Tuesday, we are going to be making peanut brittle and peppermint bark. I am so excited to share this recipe for you. Please make sure, though, that if you haven't already, to subscribe to my channel and please share it on your page socially. A lot of your friends probably would love to know how to make this as well. Well, the first recipe we're going to start with today is peanut brittle. I know growing up, my grandma made it. Did yours? If they did, give me a comment and let me know. So let's go ahead and get our ingredients and get started. So the first ingredient we're going to need is 1 stick of unsalted butter, and we're going to be putting it in Tupperware's 1 3/4 stack cooker. Next, we're going to add 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. And then we're going to add 1/4 cup of honey. Always remember, local honey is better in my opinion because it helps with local allergies. There's so many great health benefits of local honey. Go to your local nature store, Earth Fair, sometimes even your grocery store will have a local section. But always check to see where the honey is from, especially if you have allergies. So putting that in there, 1/4 cup of honey. Use your silicone spatula so that you can scrape all that extra out. We do not want to miss any of it. Now that we have it all in here, we're going to microwave this on high power for 2 minutes. There we go. 2 minutes later, nice and melted. We need to make sure to mix this really well until combined. You can just smell that good honeyness. I love the smell of honey. I think it's because I grew up, if you didn't know, fun fact, my grandfather was a beekeeper. I used to love harvesting the hives with him when I was little. There we go. Now that it's nice and combined, we're going to add 1 cup of dry roasted, unsalted, make sure it's unsalted, peanuts. Mix this all up. Now we're going to take this and put it back in the microwave for another 2 minutes. Now the next ingredient, once that's done in the microwave, is going to be vanilla. And I just want to really emphasize to you how important it is to not use imitation vanilla. Use real vanilla. It will elevate any dish that you're doing and just give a better full flavor. And it's better. So this one is Watkins that you can get at the local grocery store. Whenever we travel to Mexico for the family, though, I always try and get my vanilla there just because I think it's better. So go try it and make sure to tell me if you did. Okay, next step. Woohoo! Check out that bubbly goodness. This is gonna be hot. Now that vanilla we just talked about, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla in. And it's bubbling, so now we need to whisk it. So I'm gonna be using, see how it's reacting? It's actually really cool. So now we're gonna take Tupperware's silicone, or not silicone, now we're going to take Tupperware's whisk. This is part of the kitchen tools line that does withstand 450 degrees of heat. And we're going to give this a really, really good whisk. And then guess what? It's going to go back into the microwave for another 2 minutes. Let's go. And check it out. Look at that brown beautifulness that has come over. Now I'm going to grab my spatula and give it one more really good mix. pretty that is. Yum. And then we're going to take this and pour it out on our silicone baking sheet. It is on my very ugly cookie sheet, but no worries. It's not going to touch the cookie sheet. The cookie sheet is only for stability because the silicone mats, obviously you can't transfer. If you're doing chocolates, like we're going to be doing in a minute, we can leave it on the counter. But if you want to be able to put it in the fridge to cool it down faster, or if you're wanting to put it in the oven, if it's one of those recipes, you need to have something underneath it because it's flimsy. Now, as you can see with the spatula, I'm going to get in here and really make sure to get all of that goodness out of there. I don't want to waste any of this yumminess. And then I'm just going to take it and just spread it out on the mat. Make sure it's even. Get over there. It's a very technical technique. I don't even know the names of things I do. I just do them. Make it pretty. Now, once this sets, we're going to break it up. So it really doesn't matter its shape. I just want to make sure it's nice, thick pieces for when it does. Isn't that great? Okay, last step, we're going to take 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, though I like to use pink Himalayan salt because of the natural minerals and properties that it gives. And we're just going to sprinkle that on top. So I'm just going to grab a teaspoon and let's just sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. Make sure it's evenly distributed all around. Ta-da! Okay, now we're going to take this and we're actually going to throw this in the fridge for 15 minutes so it can set up. Okay, now while our peanut brittle is setting up, we're going to make the peppermint bark. But before we do, let's talk for a second. What is the difference between baking chips, candy coating or almond bark, and candy melts? If you know, go ahead and comment below. So the biggest difference, number one, between higher end chocolate and the cheaper chocolates are going to be the fillers. What has less additives, the higher end, versus more additives, the lower end. So sometimes when you're going to buy the cheaper chocolate, you really are buying the cheaper chocolate. So be aware of that when you're buying your chocolates, if that matters to you. Really and truly, let's just make a sweet treat and go from there. But the differences between actual chocolate chips, candy melts, and almond bark are those additives and extra things that are added in. You see, chocolate chips are made to be more stable. They have less cocoa butter inside of them, and they actually have stabilizers that help it to keep their shape because they're meant to still look like chips after they've baked. Now, why is that important to know? Because these will melt just like the other chocolates, but the thing is you won't realize that they are hot, which is why often people burn their chocolate. So just make sure whenever heating chocolate, it's always in 30-second increments. That way you can really see, oh, is it melting or not? And you won't burn it, or well, least likely to burn it, because let's be honest, I still burn chocolate sometimes. Okay, so the other ones, candy melts like these, right here, they are made to transform. They've got more of palm oil inside of it or different oils that would allow it to be more liquidy. In fact, fresh tip for all of you, if you need your chocolate, if it's too thick or dry, if you add oil into it, typically they say palm oil. I don't use palm oil in my home, but I will use a light, and I do mean a light olive oil. It's very important that it doesn't have that olivey taste, which is why you want the light versions of the oils. So you can add a little bit of oil and it'll help liquefy your chocolates. Typically, if you're going to be doing dipped or poured, you're going to want to do candy melts or the almond bark just because it spreads out easier. But again, if you've got chocolate chips, just add some oil and you can utilize it the same. Just be aware of it, keeping its shape and making sure that you don't overcook it as you go. All right, another interesting fun fact I find about candy melts and almond bark is a lot of the melting type chocolates are actually vanilla based, and then they add the flavors in to flavor it. I know, it's kind of cool, right? So just like a generalization of some fun facts for you guys. Okay, I know you really want to know how to make this peppermint bark, and it is so simple. Just like how easy that peanut brittle is. Like literally in 10 minutes, you are set up to have a super yummy and amazing candy. Okay, so how are we going to start? we're going to use dark chocolate. So you can use the dark chocolate wafers, or you could do dark chocolate chips. Now, a lot of people like milk chocolate if you're not a dark chocolate fan. Personally, I love dark chocolate, so we're going to be using dark chocolate today. Again, you can do the melting chocolates, but I'm going to use the chocolate chips just as a great example for you. So we start off with 12-ounce package, which is this, or it's 10 ounce. This will work right here. And we're going to put them in to our Tupperware. This is an exclusive size, but you can use that 1 3/4 like we used for the peanut brittle. Yummy. I love these things. So good. Okay, now this is going to go in the microwave for 1 minute, and then we're going to stir it every 15 seconds until melted. So just in case you missed it before, when melting chocolate, do it for 1 minute and then do 15-second or 30-second intervals afterwards. Really depends on how melted it has gotten, where you can kind of see, does it need 30 seconds or 15? But just remember, you can add more time, but once you overcook it, you can't take it away. All right, let's check on it. So you guys can see after 1 minute, it's already started to look like it's melting, but the shape is still there. Yet as soon as you grab your spatula and start mixing, you'll see, oh, it's really actually melting. All right, so let's mix this up, and then we're going to put this back in for 15-minute interval, or sorry, we're going to put it back in for 15-second intervals until we get that full consistency we want. There we go. See, look how smooth it all is. Once you get that silky smooth and you don't see any more of the chips, if you're using chocolate chips, we're going to pour this straight out onto the silicone baking sheet. This is seriously one of my favorite products that Tupperware has. That's why it's my fresh product pick. Remember, you can always go to twcorinne.com so that you can purchase all of my favorite picks. And I do have a cutting board underneath it to stabilize it, because we are going to stick this in the freezer once we spread it out to help it harden faster for the next layer. So peppermint bark is layering for me. Some people do it all together. I like doing the multiple layers of it just because I think it looks better. I'm all about presentation. We eat with our eyes before we eat otherwise. I'm not spreading it all the way out to the edges because I want it to be nice and thick, but there's no reason why you can't. I'm just trying to get a nice even spread. Okay, now we're going to take this and set this in the freezer for 10 minutes or until we get the next layer ready. Basically, we want this to harden so the other one will set nicely on top of it. All right, now we're going to grab another container, the Tupperware stack cooker, and we're going to do 1 bag of white chocolate chips, or you could always do the almond bark or the melts. Really and truly, it just depends on which one you want to use. These are the cheaper chocolate chips, so I want you to see the difference once melted. But we're just going to take these and now put them in the microwave for 1 minute like we did the others. And here we are after 1 minute. You can see they still have their shape. But then as we start to mix, you'll see it is starting to melt. So let's give it a little bit. And then we're going to put this back in those 15-second increments until it's completely melted. Okay, that is looking good. So that really only took 1 minute and 15. Now I like to add extra peppermint, of course, pure peppermint extract. And then we're also going to add in peppermint candies. I love the smell of peppermint. Can y'all smell it? Okay, I'm going to put this aside for 1 second just because we need to chop up our peppermint. So I've got our small supersonic chopper and just some Starlight mints. You can also do candy canes. Candy canes do just as well. And we're going to chop them up. Check out that. This one's like dust. Obviously, if you want it chunkier, don't chop it for as long. I just like those small little pieces so it gets all over the place. But if you want big chunks, just don't chop it as much. All right, now let's assemble. All right, I grabbed the chocolate out of the freezer. It's not completely set, but I'm going to go ahead for the next step. And we're going to take our vanilla chocolate and just put that all over the top. Well, technically, this is peppermint chocolate now since I've added that extra peppermint goodness into it. You want to make sure it spreads out nice and evenly across the top. Sometimes I find if you dab it multiple places, see how it's not melted all the way? It's making that swirl. That's why. So, or frozen yet, sorry. So because I didn't let it freeze all the way, it's picking up that other chocolate with the heat. So definitely make sure you let the bottom layer sit all the way when you make this at home, okay? Unless you like the marbled effect. And then I say go for it and have fun. I'm definitely getting that marble effect, aren't I? Okay, now we're going to take the crushed peppermints and we're just going to sprinkle them over the whole thing. Check it out. Okay, so now we need to take this and put this in the freezer to really set for about 10 to 15 minutes. Once it is fully set, then we can break it up for our bar, which I am going to show you. Just again, make sure you notice not to do what I did. Let that base layer fully set in the freezer before you go and add the white chocolate, or you'll get that marbly effect and the two chocolates will blend together. We kind of want to leave them two distinct layers just because it looks better. But it's all going to taste fine and be amazing in our stomach, which is going to make our hearts really happy. Okay, are you ready to check on that peanut brittle? Let's go. Okay, I've got the peanut brittle out of the fridge. Let's break it up. Doesn't that look great? And now the best part is with the silicone mat, nothing sticks to it. Is that not fantastic? Easiest cleanup ever, and you're not throwing wasted stuff away. Now you can use parchment paper or wax paper. Wax paper cannot go in the oven, however. Of course, this didn't either. But just letting you know ahead of time as you think about the different substitutes. And we're just going to break it up into our desired size. That you want. It looks so good. Doesn't this look absolutely amazing? And it tastes amazing too. Yeah, it really does. You want to know why? When you make things at home, it always tastes better than when you're out. Well, not always, but it is when you put love into it. Because love is the best secret ingredient ever, which is why the kitchen is where conversations are had, memories are made, and relationships are built. So go cook with your kids or your family or your loved ones this holiday season and let's make some candy. This is really good. I'm excited about these. I'm going to be taking these and packaging them up in small little Tupperware containers because then they can keep that product for forever as a nice little gift idea. And I'm also going to put some in little small bags I get at the dollar store and just hand out to random people because it makes me happy to, fill others' cups. It kind of like fills mine. So I don't know. Do you guys enjoy that too? If you do, tell me something that you do this holiday. I love giving candy and stuff to random people that I've made. Just put a smile on their face. What do you love doing? Oh, it's really good. Yeah, baby. Okay, let's go check on our peppermint bark. And there we have it. After 10 to 12 minutes, it is all set up. So let's break it up. Now, if you look closely, you can see where the two colors blended because I didn't let that base layer set all the way. But still, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So now we're going to take the sides and just break it up like we did otherwise. I actually like to just bend the board. That also helps. Ha, look, it even imprints on the bottom. Okay. Love it. Oh my gosh. I'll keep breaking this up, but I really want to try it. Check it out. Is that not just absolutely beautiful? What I love about it is on the sides, and you get the layers right, you can actually see the dark chocolate and then the white chocolate and then the peppermint on there. Let's try it. Oh, that's some good stuff. I'm telling you, William and Sonoma has nothing on Tupperware. I'm just saying. Yeah, I said that out loud. You can repeat that. Tupperware up here, William and Sonoma down here. So listen, seriously, my friends, this holiday season, as you're looking at some quick gifts that your friends will love, please don't go spend $30, $40 at Harry and David or William and Sonoma or any of those fancy little places to get their candies in a tin, because you can give them quality Tupperware products and put just as yummy, if not better, because it's made with love, ingredients and candies inside of it. I hope today has inspired you, my friends, and that you go and make some of your own peanut brittle or peppermint bark. Thanks for joining me on Fresh Tip Tuesday, and I'll see you next time. Yum.